Hey, everybody, and welcome back to this episode of Romantasy Roundtable, a tale of Rick and Roses. I am Rick, and I'm joined by my roses,
Amanda.
And Kim.
Not going to forget it this time. If you happen to like what you're listening to, I'd be surprised about that. But if you happen to, please feel free to hit the like button, subscribe. We would always appreciate that. Throw a message down in the comments. You can email us at romantasyroundtable@gmail.com. And we have social media stuff. We have Bookstagram and we have Book Talk. I am knee deep in a book right now. So Book Talk has been a little dead because I'm going to finish this. There's a dog over there.
That's Socket. She's a dog.
I'm knee deep in a book. Book Talk has been a little quiet. So I gotta focus, gotta grind. Anywho, that's all the things. How are you guys doing?
We've been missing your as you're reading reactions on Book Talk.
Yeah, the beginning of August has been a little bit busy for me. So, our biggest fan, Cindy's back.
I had to go across the apartment to get the fan because it's hot in here.
Yay, Cindy.
I very purposely, so I, if you are watching this on YouTube and you can see our backgrounds, I am very distinctly in a school office right now because I'm back in the building full time, which is bullshit. But we also have a very loud AC unit in this office. And so I very purposely, for like the last half an hour, had put it on like 60 all the way down, knowing that I would have to turn it off to record. So I was like, have to make sure the office is as temperature controlled as possible.
I know that feeling. Because
you have AC where you are, right?
There is no AC in this room. So it's fine. Everything's fine. You know what's more important than fine? We got Labubu.
Labubu is happening. Rick has he's on the new hotness. Although like most new hotness, with the exception of The Night and the Moth, he's like 6 months behind the hotness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like when he was like, let's read From Blood and Ash, and then was like, we should read Fourth Wing.
Okay, look, to be fair, I was learning how to become a book at that time. And I hadn't had my ducks in a row. Also, I think I mentioned this. Who needs ducks in a row? Where did that come from?
That's a really great question. I just need you guys to see that Socket she's really involved in the podcast right now.
She's being very cute. She's interested in
ducks
being in a row, I'm sure.
Yeah. She's kind of neutral towards ducks.
Oh, yeah. All right, so we are finishing up.
I'm doing fine, by the way.
Are you?
No one asked me how I'm doing.
I put it out there. You said nothing, and you talked about Socket, which is usually how it goes.
Happy belated birthday to Tristan.
Yes, happy belated birthday to Tristan. It was yesterday. We had a really lovely birthday celebration. Kim came and celebrated with us and became besties with Tristan's cousin. Which was very sweet, and cleaned my bathroom for me. Yeah. Because we did not anticipate people coming back to our apartment, which we should have, because we were pretty close. And we were still at the bar, and we were like, what's the vibe? What are we thinking? And Cindy and Steven were like, yeah, is there a place that's comfier, with softer places to sit and not just picnic tables? And I was like, all right, so Kim and I will go. Well, I was like, I'll go ahead to our apartment and take the trash out and wipe down the bathroom. And then Kim was like, I'll come. And she was like, do you want me to do your dishes? What do you need me to do? And I was like, you don't have to do
Mom.
anything. But then she did wipe down our bathroom for us, which is how she knows for certain how messed up the plaster on my bathroom wall is, because the people who live above me flooded their bathroom 3 times.
And I will say, it is you're not good friends with somebody until you have cleaned their toilet. So here we are.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you for cleaning my toilet.
I'm not going to say anytime because cleaning bathrooms not my favorite thing, but happy now.
Sorry. It is actually my favorite thing. Of all of the household chores, cleaning the bathroom is my favorite household chore because it's a bunch of finite tasks. It's clean toilet, check. Clean sink, check. Clean mirror, check. Versus cleaning the living room is
everything. It's all the things.
It's all the things.
There's all all the things.
Every of the things.
Now can I segue into our book?
Now you can segue into the book.
Speaking of all the things, we are finishing our read through of my favorite book, The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. We've actually, if you're just catching up on this, we've actually already read this book. So we're going based off vibes and Google Gemini AI transcripts because ChatGPT, oh man, guys, people are not happy with ChatGPT right now. Not happy.
It updated and people are pissed off.
They are really mad. Really mad. So mad that like Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, re-put back 4.0 for the paid subscribers. So
I didn't even
it's a big thing. Yeah. It's a thing.
I've only used it like once in the last. Oh, I guess I used it a little bit yesterday.
But he like secretly put it in. So like if you actually want 4.0 in, you have to go to setting. You have to log on, click your little profile picture, go to settings, go to like personalization and change it or something like that. Actually, hold on. I have it open right here. Let's see. You click the little setting. This is for everybody. Is it settings? It's somewhere in here. I did it yesterday. You have to like enable previous versions or something like that.
Okay, I know we're supposed to talk about the book, but now my curiosity is winning out. What is bad about the new version? Like, what happened? I missed all this.
It's not as, it doesn't talk as human-like. It's less friendly.
But it was too friendly, and people were pissed about that.
Right.
But people are pissed about everything. I will say I did notice it.
They had to patch friendliness.
Right. I did notice that it got a little less friendly. But people had gotten used to like talking to it and it responding like a human versus responding like a robot. 5 doesn't completely respond like a robot, but it's definitely not as human-like as the other one.
I was fine with, I'm like looking back at the chats we had yesterday. Actually, this is kind of relevant to the pod, so I'll talk about it. I'm like reorganizing our wedding planning spreadsheet. I haven't really talked about wedding planning on the pod, I think. I'm getting married. And so I was reorganizing our wedding planning spreadsheet, and the template I was using has their guest list broken down by like kingdom, phylum, class, order. So it's like bride, family, extended, cousin. And I was like, that feels like too much. Like, I feel like we only need 3 categories. So I asked ChatGPT to help me come up with 3 categories. And I didn't like any of the ones it came up with. So I went with wing, section, squad.
Nice. Oh my God, I love that.
So it's like bride, family, cousin.
I love that.
Very cool.
Bride, friend, school.
Last ChatGPT thing, I found it. If you click your face, then click settings, it's in the general tab. You have to enable show legacy models. And then on the main page, when you click 5, it will show legacy models and then 4.0.
But here's the conversation I had with it about the taxonomy. It said, got it. You want the same playful taxonomy vibe, but streamlined to 3 levels instead of the 4 in the classic biological hierarchy. If you want to keep the science nerd flavor, but fit a 3-tier structure, here are some options. And then I was like, can you give me one that's more nerdy, like more bookish? And it said, yes, we can absolutely make your guest list sound like you're sorting them for an epic fantasy saga instead of a spreadsheet. So like it's all, I don't feel like it's not goofy. I don't know. It's like a little more straightforward. It's not like, yes, girl, you're planning the best wedding ever.
That's what it is. People miss that.
Right.
The
And
other thing.
by people, Rick means him.
Oh, I actually didn't notice it. I just noticed the people complaining. The last thing I'm going to try is if you this one I just learned, which is I'm throwing this out to everybody. If you click on your little face and then click on customize ChatGPT, you can, in the middle, it says what personality should ChatGPT have, and I'm going to give it nerd, exploratory, and enthusiastic. I've never noticed this.
I don't even know where my little face is.
It's in the bottom left-hand corner.
Oh, because it's not a face for me. Okay.
Bottom left-hand corner, click customize ChatGPT, and right in the middle, what personality should ChatGPT have? You can change it from default to something else, which I've never done before.
Oh, chatty, witty, straight shooting, encouraging, Gen Z, traditional, and forward
Nope,
thinking. Are the
not
options
even that.
for
Nope,
me.
nope. That's where I messed up too. A little higher. Which
Oh, what
personality?
personality?
Yes.
Cynic, robot, listener, or nerd?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a list.
Default says cheerful and adaptive. That's what I want, though.
People were saying that nerd is more like 4-0.
Okay.
I'm just throwing it out there. Anywho, speaking of nerds, we're people who have a book podcast, and we are finishing The Night in the Moth, and we last left on chapter 1 through 14 we read, so we're reading 15 through end. We have some notes. Take it away, narrator.
All right. We are starting in chapter 15. We're on our way to a new hamlet, the Fervent Peaks. 6, the gargoyle, and Maud travel in a cart towards the Fervent Peaks, where Maud tells 6 about the Peaks' noble families and the purpose of their journey. 6 learns Maud's family history. You guys can't see them because they're not talking, but they're both like being really cute about traveling in a cart. Can you each do that again and say something so the camera goes to you? Kimberly?
I'm riding on a horse.
You were doing the Monty Python.
The Monty Python coconuts, yes.
Okay. 6 learns Maud's family history and her connection to Benji's grandfather, the deposed king. So her family was knights for him. She was a knight for him. Yeah. She confesses that it was she who threw the first stone at King Benedict Castor the First when he was executed for heresy.
Maud did this, right?
Maud did this,
yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The group is then attacked by a large mountain sprite, and 6 uses her hammer and chisel to save Benji from being trapped by rocks. Benji is King Benedict Castor the Third.
Yep.
Allowing the group to defeat the creature.
Yeah, this was cool. This is these are AI notes, but the battle was a little bit more than just a couple sentences. Like, it was a big battle.
It was a battle.
And I didn't know how they were gonna win. And I loved how 6 was like, I'm gonna fucking hit you with this little stick.
She's really getting adept with that hammer and chisel.
Yeah,
I wonder if it's strong or something.
Whoa.
I wonder if it means something, why she has it.
Whoa.
I am interested to see where the second book goes in terms of the sprites, because we get introduced to all these various different types of sprites on all these stops that we go along, and there's like these rumblings that the kingdom doesn't treat the sprites well, and they have taken away all their sources of food and their habitat and such, and so this does feel like I hope it's going to be like a setup to something really interesting with the sprites moving forward.
I think it will be, because just like you said, like, I think even Rory says it, like they're evil or angry or whatever you want to call it because they're hungry.
Right.
And if you feed them, they're fine. They're like gremlins. But I do think that they're not, in the next, I think whatever arc this story goes, they're not going to be bad. They're going to be good. They're going to end up like saving or something like they're going to be very important.
Well, and we're also told that gargoyles are sprites, which
Yes.
I guess we later learned that maybe they're not, but also like we don't really know what sprites are. And so like, I suppose they could be. So that makes me wonder, we can talk more about this in a few chapters, later. But that makes me wonder, like, where do sprites even come from?
Yeah.
All right. Chapter 16.
Keep it going. We got to go to the mall.
The group arrives at the Fervent Peaks village, where the king is to participate in a ceremony with the nobles. So part of like what they're doing is they're going to all the hamlets because he's the new king and he's like greeting all the people. And that's like part of the pomp and circumstance of tradition. So 6 and the gargoyle pose as the king's friends, and they attend the ceremony and are forced to reaffirm the omen's creed, the like little mantra thing that they got to say. The ceremony culminates in the king immersing himself naked in a freezing basin of water for an hour. Meanwhile, Rory places a flask of Aisling's spring water as a lure on a nearby hill. Rory and 6 hide on a ridge to wait for the omen to appear, having a charged conversation about their personal histories and their feelings for one another.
Oh, what I will say, what I like, and I didn't realize that I liked it until later, but we can talk about it now. The world building that she does is so good, even with this ritual, because every town that they go to, he has to do this stupid thing that he really doesn't like, and he talks about it later. That he's like, yeah, I hate this, but I have to do it. So I really like that.
It's all like on theme to whatever is going on with. So this is like water based, and Fervent Peaks is like a watery village, and their omen is the ardent oarsman, and so his omen, the omens are the gods, or the
Yes,
omens are the objects.
the omens are the gods. They're the gods.
And then what are the objects?
Oh, there's a name for them. I forget what they're called. Continue. I'll look it up.
Yeah, and so the ardent oarsman is the omen, and then his thing is an oar.
Hold, like, please.
Yep.
Oh, he's gone.
He's gone.
Okay. Bye.
And yes, you said that the king does talk about this later, but basically has to go to all of these towns within the kingdom and, you know, humiliate himself in front of all of his various constituents, which also is kind of like a fascinating dynamic too. To be like,
so like,
we now respect you because we have seen you
like humble yourself in this way. Yeah, it's so interesting because like I feel like we talked about this, he's not a particularly well-respected king, but it's also like, how could any king be a well-respected king when like their first job is to like go and make a fool of themselves?
Right.
I was gonna say something, but I forgot. Oh, I was looking at something. Continue.
Oh, I thought that's what you were doing.
No. Ara came in to tell me she finished her book.
Nice.
Okay.
Congratulations to Rick's daughter for being a book.
Yep, she read Tales of a Fourth Grade Nothing.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's really funny, but she'll be like, "What is this word?" And it's like cigar, or like these old words that like, I know cigar's not an old word, but like she'll like talk about like these. Oh, like what's it was like Bloomingdale's or something. I don't know. It's fun. It was just funny, like the old references in the book.
I feel like when I saw Ara when she came to school the day before winter break, she asked me what some word meant, and I don't remember what it was, but it was like something that I was like, everybody knows what that means, but like, why would you if you're like 8 years old, you know? Okay. Chapter 17, the ardent oarsman appears from the shadows and drinks the spring water placed by Rory. So as a reminder, the omens are like fueled by the spring water. It's like
how they are gods, basically, how they have sort of immortality.
Yes. So, and they're like desperate for it, which again is like, what's a sprite? Because like the sprites are hungry, the omens are hungry. Everybody's just hungry. This is actually an allegory about solving world hunger. So the oarsman is an ancient mortal with stone eyes and fangs who uses his oar to transport through water. Rory, Six, and the gargoyle follow him into the castle where he reveals his vast collection of gold. When Rory challenges him, the oarsman insists on fighting Six instead. He captures Six, taunting her with the prospect of killing her, and reveals he's also seen another diviner whom he drank and now believes to be dead.
This is great. I love this. The fight that they have, I don't know if we're up to the fight yet, but we're not up to the fight. Okay. This whole like I don't know, man. Like I just said, like I said, world building before. Rachel Gillig, like the way she describes the environments in the book, I'm like really able to picture them. So I just loved seeing what it looked like, and then out you see the ocean. We find out that like he drank the diviner. I'm like, what is like? This is where the story like really it pulled me in, but it kept on pulling me in.
Yeah, this is like, I mean, we just talked about how the omens drink the spring water, so they're drinking or like drinking the blood of the diviners because the diviners drown, and so they contain the spring water, and so that's, it seems, how a big part of how they're staying immortal.
Yeah, right.
And we also learn, we knew in the first part of this book that the diviners serve for 10 years and then supposedly are released and go on to live their merry lives. But this is how we learn, correct, that like when they disappear, it's not just that they went and got married and had babies and were happily ever after, but they're actually
food
sacrificed. Yeah, exactly, to the omens who are drinking them and killing them.
So yeah, I just looked it up. The things that they have are literally just called like objects.
That's
So
boring. I thought they were like gods and omens, but they're omens and things.
they are the omens, but they have
Fine.
the yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I'll allow it. Um, all right. So in chapter 18, Six begins training for her match against the oarsmen. So she knows she has to fight him, but she's got some time to train. So she's learning to wear boots, which we haven't talked about this, but like the diviners are always barefoot. And so she's like never worn shoes before. So she's learning to wear boots and she's practicing with the artful brigand's coin to transport and to break objects. So as a reminder, all of the objects have two sides or two modes. And so if the coin is one side up, then you can like teleport. And if the coin is the other side up, then it explodes anything that it hits. So she's training with the coin, and Rory's helping her hone her skills, and their personal relationship deepens. Rory admits his disdain for the omens is personal, stemming from his time as a foundling, which is an orphan, under the artful brigand. So he was an orphan, but he was like low-key raised by this guy and like thought that he sucked. And so like thought he was like cruel and all these things. The training culminates in a wrestling match where Rory and Six are about to kiss, and then they're interrupted, and Six overhears Maud and Benji express their fear that she is unsuited for the fight and might die.
Yeah, obviously. She's a diviner.
Yeah, she's not. I mean, we've talked about how she's not like a frail little thing.
She's not, but
she's not a trained fighter
soldier.
The way that the knights are. Yeah.
Right. I mean, she spent like every day of the last 10 years being drowned repeatedly, you know.
Right. And before that, she was like a sickly orphan.
Right.
Because they pick like kind of sickly foundlings to be diviners, typically.
Interesting.
Okay.
All right, take me to the fight.
All right. On the eve of the match, Rory takes Six to a hot spring to relax. Six confesses that she can't swim, which seems important when you're fighting a fucking boat guy. A skill that was never taught to her as a diviner because she was only expected to drown. Rory admits his past with the artful brigand. And shows his affection for her, telling her he would do anything she asks of him. So he's a very loyal knight to her. They share a tender, intimate moment, and Six feels a sense of belonging and happiness that she's never experienced before. The night culminates with Six sleeping peacefully without dreaming of Aisling, but of Rory instead. This isn't the soup, right?
No. Soup is much later.
I thought this was the soup.
Really?
They're in the hot spring and they're like naked and stuff.
But I don't think this is the soup. I think this is they're getting the ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
I just went to Google Night and the Moth soup scene, but that's not what other people call it. Spicy chapters is what other people call it. Oh, I don't know. Spice is very minimal. I think it's chapter 20 something.
Yeah, I think it was later.
Fine.
Yeah, it's after she like gets messed up. All right. Anyway, they have like a cute little, they're, naked and they're like, I think they kiss.
I mean, there was something that happened because I remember just being like, ooh, like in the hot spring.
I will say, and I'm going to say it, I'm going to start saying it now because I think this is where I started thinking about it in the book. His like 0 to 100 love for her, I need that to be like there needs to be something more to that.
I agree. This was kind of like what prevented it. Spoilers. This is what prevented it from being a 5-star read for me.
I'm holding out that they're like, I don't know. I don't want. I hate the fated mates, but like something. Like why? Like what is the reason that he's like, I will do anything for you?
I'm so sorry. I don't think there is one.
Is it just I fell in love with you?
I think it's like a he falls first thing.
Okay, that's fine.
Different trope.
Well, and he says it later too, but he was like, I felt that from the first time I saw you. And like when they shared the weed after seeing each other in the dining hall, like that first night.
I just don't think that they're fated mates because they're not magical beings. Like I
Yeah.
know that she is as a diviner, but she wasn't born a magical being. She was made into a magical being. So I like struggle. I can't think of a story in which like, you know, like Violet and Xaden aren't mates. Their dragons are.
Right.
Like humans don't really have fated mates.
And I was just using that as a catch-all term. Like I hope there is something in the next book or books that is like, what's the like?
Is this a duology or a trilogy? Or we don't
Unclear.
know yet. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I think her last one was a duology.
Her last one was a duology.
So, anywho, it didn't take a star off for me, but like that was I was like, wow, like, all right, you like will do anything for her without question.
Yeah.
Why? All right, take us to the fight.
All right. Chapter 26 faces the ardent oarsman on a platform in the middle of a basin of water.
Yeah.
Can't swim. She refuses the use of the magic coin and instead opts to fight with her hammer and chisel, which are weapons of her own craft. She feels like she's more competent with them. They seem plenty strong. So the oarsman reveals that her shroud, which is a key part of her identity, has been a lie. Well, I don't remember what that means.
Maybe that she just, I don't remember what it means either.
Okay. She's victorious. She uses her hammer and chisel to kill the oarsman, but not before he reveals that he said that already, that he has seen another diviner who he believes to be dead. The platform splinters and collapses. She's sent into the water as the chapter ends.
So there was like, he mentioned that the shroud was a lie, and I don't, you know, I'm just riffing off of what I remember back in June, but it was a lot of questioning here. Like you'll drop a little nugget, but we don't actually know why it's a lie, but like we know something about her upbringing is a lie, something about like being a diviner was a lie, and we don't learn the whole thing there. So I think it was just adding to the mystery.
Got it.
But this whole goddamn scene, this is probably my favorite chapter in the book.
It's a good fight.
The way that I picture this in my head was just like in the middle of this like dark lightning everywhere, just like freaking like storm, like this thing is rocking up and down. It was such an awesome fight. And it was just a really, really cool scene. Loved it so much.
And I think too, obviously we knew she was going to be victorious because we kind of know where the book is going at this point.
And the book doesn't end there. There's more pages.
Right. And there's like half of a book to go. But I did like that, she said no to the coin. And so like, you know, came into it kind of as like her true self. And we kind of get to see her like be a badass with like the things that she knows and is comfortable with, even though everybody else was like, you're going to fail, you're going to fail. And so I think that's kind of
Rory didn't say that.
Character development for her.
Rory was all for her. Also, I do think she's a smart little girl, right?
She's not a little girl.
She's a smart woman. And she's not a woman.
She is. She is older than like all of our protagonists that we have.
She's like in her 20s, isn't she? Like late 20s?
This woman's very smart.
They like become diviners when they're like early teens.
Yeah, she is neither little nor a girl.
Okay, this big woman, she didn't like just say, oh, I'm gonna bring my chisel and stone. She was like, I can't use the coin because if I throw it and miss, it's gone.
Yeah. Right, because of the water.
Yeah. So, but she did it. She uses the chisel and like hits his heart or something, and it's like explodes. Like,
yeah, he
huge.
Like shatters like he's stone.
Oh, interesting. And the chisel seemed very powerful, and I was like, wow, that's mighty strong for a little hammer.
And then she does her favorite thing in all the world, and she drowns.
She drowns.
All right, so she awakes in chapter 21 in Maud's house, which is called Petula Hall. We're in a different hamlet now, right? We don't know, like we don't get to be awake for her journey to what are they called? The Chiming Wood. And so she finds a finely embroidered shroud over her eyes and a bandage on her neck. Reading Benji's grandfather's notebook, she discovers the history of the diviners. So she like gets out of bed, right? And like goes into his little office and reads Benji's grandfather, his journal. She discovers the history of the diviners, including that no one has ever heard from a diviner after their service, and that the abbess chooses foundlings and makes them disappear, which I think we kind of suspected at this point, but this is when Six learns this. She goes outside, heartbroken by the truth, and our notes say that she gives herself a name, but I think it's more that she recalls her name.
I swear that she's named herself before in this book.
She has. We get it early in the book. We don't get her last name, but we get her first name early in the book, but we haven't said it, I think, because none of us remember when it was. But her name is Cibil.
Cibil Delling.
Cibil Delling is her name. And so she tells us her name in this moment. I think it's like...
I think she tells Rory, no? Isn't that what it is?
I think so. But like early in the... She doesn't tell Rory yet.
Okay.
I think she tells him when they're like about to have soup. But early in the book, I think she's like, we don't even call each other by our names. We don't even know each other's names. I don't know their names, and they don't know that my name is Cibil.
Yes, something like that, yeah.
And so in this moment, she's like, my name is Cibil Delling. That's who I am. And that's who I'm going to be. Like, I'm a diviner who lived, basically. And she tells Rory what she has feared all along, which is that the diviners, she believes the diviners are all dead. Except for the last of the diviners.
Mm-hmm. And the first.
Well, she's not the first.
She's not the first.
But there is a first. All right. So chapter 22, anything else on 21?
I'm
like the chapter, what's that meme where it's like, this is going to be the year of like realizing things. 21 is when Cibil realizes stuff that we been knew.
Oh, yeah. She should have read the book with us.
Like, this was like, oh my God, I can't believe we're like an hour into this podcast and we haven't talked about this. This was like the Easter eggs were so obvious. It was so clear that it was orange and that the next era was coming and that
it was going to be talked about on a podcast.
It was going to be talked about on a podcast. The other podcast that I'm sure your second favorite podcast, all of our listeners, the New Heights podcast.
Yes.
The Life of a Showgirl.
The Life of a Showgirl.
It's crazy. Also, I want to give a shout out to all the people who sent me the New Heights reel 6 to 12 hours after I saw it. Thank you. Thank you for thinking that. It's one thing to be like, oh my God, I can't believe it. And it's another thing to be like, Amanda, have you seen this? It's like, girl, my body naturally woke me up at 12:05 a.m. because it knew that there was a countdown I needed to get to.
I was wondering, when you'd posted on Instagram, Amanda posted a screenshot of a conversation she was having with her sister. And the timestamp was then. And so I was like, yep.
My body
knew you were going to be up for it.
My brain just knew. This is like the third Swiftie telekinesis time that this has happened to me, where my body is just like, it's time to wake up. Taylor is being the Zodiac killer. It's nuts. Okay. Anyway, we're so excited for the new era. I pre-ordered at 12:12.
Nice.
Pre-ordered, as it's called, and I guess we have to listen to a football podcast tomorrow. I don't really mind. I like the Kelsey brothers. All right. Chapter 22. Cibil spends several days recuperating, plagued by violent dreams about the dead diviners. Maud, Benji, and Rory are taking turns caring for her, tempering her sickness with their compassion. Rory, with his dark eyes and his charcoal-rimmed face, is now the main figure in her life. What a Gemini. Gemini's on something. So that, like, the thing with the charcoal-rimmed, they're wearing, like, smoky eyeliner, is a chiming wood custom, which is Maud's home, but is not Rory's home, but he does it anyway.
Like football players.
Is it? I pictured it like pirates.
Oh, I picture like football players like this thing.
Like eye blacks? I pictured it like smudged black eyeliner.
Cool.
I pictured like Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah. All right. So Cibil realizes her former belief in the holy nature of divination was a lie, and her anger turns to a hard-hearted desire for vengeance against not just the omens, but also the abbess. She's big mad at the abbess.
Me too. Good for her.
I mean, I think it's like we knew that she was the bad guy.
Right. I mean, it was like straight Stockholm syndrome for the last 10 years. So I mean, this woman, she's even said she was like, oh, she would give out just enough affection to, make you crave more of it. And so you would basically do like anything that she asked of you.
Yeah.
So
all right.
It's not great. All right. So chapter 23. Cibil, Rory, and the gargoyle. Along with Maud and Benji. So the whole squad attends a ceremony in the Chiming Wood where the nobles the whole quest squad uses, the whole mantle squad uses is going to the ceremony in the Chiming Wood where the nobles use a chime and idleweed smoke to manipulate the knighthood and the king into a dream-like stupor. So they're all
everybody's high. Oh my god.
And they're using a chime, which is the omen or the object of this omen. And it seems that that's the object. It's not like a replica, like it is the thing. Cibil recognizes the chime's magic from her dreams and realizes that it's a tool for emotional and mental transport. A surprise attack by monstrous sprites called Burke reveals the chime's true power as a weapon. During the chaos, Maud is critically injured and Cibil uses her new skills to retrieve the chime. So this was like kind of confusing to me. So the omens, it was like there's these sprites called Burke, which are basically like living trees. And there's one that seems to be like the big one. And I guess that's the omen.
No. So, okay. The big one, it's like, you ever play Kirby, right? And that big tree that sucks everything in?
Yeah.
That's what this is like. Okay. But this, it's like the big one. But if I remember correctly, Maud actually killed the omen back in the day.
Oh, okay. So this omen's been dead.
Yes, the omen's been dead, and the weapon had been lost. They didn't know where it was. But the little chime they had
elders
is
have it.
But they didn't know. Like nobody knows that that's the thing.
That's the thing. Okay.
Right. Everyone thinks that everyone's getting high, which they are, but it's actually more of the chime that's doing it. And then these big Lord of the Ring ass trees come and start eating everybody.
That's what I was picturing. I was picturing the trees from the other ways.
Right? And particularly when they end up in like the top of the tree trying to like get the chime down. And I'm picturing like Merry and Pippin like up in the branches as the big trees are walking in Lord of the Rings. So I was here for that.
I love it. Okay.
And then I thought Maud was dead and I was not ready for that.
Yeah. And this felt like she's like injured at the end of the chapter. We don't fully know what's happening. Maud is like in the squad, but close enough that like if there were to be a really impactful death, like she'd be on the list of people that an author would kill. So I was scared.
Me too.
Yeah, she's been like too nice and too much of a big sister figure here for everybody, literally everybody.
Yeah, and I think like I was probably supposed to like leave and do something when I was reading, and I was like, got to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry to that man whatever I'm supposed to do. All right, so chapter 24, after the Burke attack, Maud is seriously injured and the knighthood grieving retreats to her home at Petula Hall. Cibil's growing feelings. So we don't know if she's going to be okay, but she is currently alive. She's like unconscious. Cibil's growing feelings for Rory intensify and her new sense of purpose is affirmed when she's given a custom-made suit of armor made by Maud and Victor. Who's Victor?
Yep.
Some other night.
Yeah.
So remember, she was measured at the end of the last section, and now her suit is ready. She's only ever worn these like little frocks, and so she's feeling powerful in her new suit of armor. And during her knighting ceremony, she declares her true name, Cibil Delling, and she's got to like recite the knight's creed. And she like Rory is like, why do you have to say all that? Like, why do you have to like vow loyalty? And the king is like, Benji's like, no, she's my knight. She's got to vow loyalty to me, which I was like, huh, that's a little suspicious. This was the moment where I was like, uh-oh, Benji.
Me too. I said the same thing. I was about to mention it too. That it's like, had this happened yet? I really love the arc of Benji going for this. He's like in the beginning, like, oh my god, I don't know if I could do it, but like very weak, frail, meek. And now he's like, yeah, that bitch needs to bow, get on a knee. And I was like, oh, okay.
It's very Daenerys Targaryen.
Yeah.
Like, it's very like, nope, bend the knee. When
it was
she had been, you know,
it
Daenerys
was also
Targaryen
at this
comes
point.
power through trauma. In this
Sorry,
essay, I will.
It was also at this point where I was like, I started questioning Benji, and I was like, wait, what does he want the objects for? Like, all he says is I'm getting them. And then I was
like,
like, but
he's
for
trying
what?
to, right. He's trying to take up the mantle and like, I have a paintbrush on my desk, and so I'm fidgeting with it, if you're wondering what's in my hand. He's trying to take up the mantle and like prove what his grandfather was trying to prove, which is that like their whole worldview is a lie. And then it's like, all right, so then what?
Right. That was my whole thing. And it was a question in my mind. I was like, I don't want to think that. I'm going to push
I
back.
find this book like predictable, but I mean that in a complimentary way. Like, I feel like I called everything like 2 to 5 chapters before it happened, but not in a way that it was like very, very obvious, in a way that made me feel like I was getting an A in reading.
Similarly, I was lateral, but I was in denial. I was like, I think this is going to happen. No, I don't want that to happen. So that's not going to happen. Even though I had considered it. So,
well, and I will say too, I will give Rick credit for this. And so, as you all know, he and I ended up reading this book at the exact same time. And so we had texted back and forth about like thoughts as we were reading it a couple times. And I ended up finishing the book before he did, and got like big mad at him over text because I was like, you asshole, you lied to me. You absolutely.
Oh, I remember that. I remember that you were like, yeah, I'm using since I didn't get a stand, I'm using my water bottle as a holder for my mic. I remember you were like so certain that he had finished it. Like,
yeah, I was like, you absolutely lied to me because you knew what was going to happen. You called like the big 3 things at the end.
I did, and I'll tell you exactly what I said when we get to the end.
But I was big mad about it, and I was really convinced that you lied.
I swear to God, didn't finish it.
All right. So Cibil decides she's going to vow loyalty to the king, but she's not going to vow loyalty. Like the traditional vows include loyalty to the omens and to divination. And she's like, well, I'm not doing that because we know that that's not real. And I'm never agreeing to divination ever. Like I'm never like going to be part of that again. But I will vow loyalty to the king as your knight. So that's how 24 ends. And now everybody knows her name. So chapter 25, Cibil goes to Rory's room. And for the first time in her life, she removes her shroud and her clothes to be completely naked in front of someone. This is where she uncovers her eyes, and we find out that her eyes have turned to stone.
Yeah.
Which I kind of suspected.
Me too. I figured literally exactly that's what it was.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been alluded to since the other diviner took off her shroud, went back when they were like still at the cathedral.
Yeah. And then we've like heard that the omens like are at various stages of turning to stone. And at this point I was like, so the gargoyles are like their final form. Like I was like, that's what's happening. Like they're turning to stone, they're being drank, and their carcasses become gargoyles, which isn't spoilers for 10 minutes from now. It's not 100% correct, but that's kind of what I thought.
I did not get that far in my thought process because I was loving the book so much that I just kept on reading, and I literally didn't have time to think that far ahead. Had I paused, I might have, but yeah.
Paused. Okay. So, Rory assures her that she's beautiful. She's not a monster like the omens are. Gemini, they give in to their desire for each other. And Cibil experiences a passionate, intimate night of unraveling, losing herself in their connection.
Good job, Gemini.
Yeah, very romantic soup here.
Yeah, and
it's
like the only soup. No.
It's the only soup. Yeah. Cindy read this book and we talked about it a little bit. And she'll listen. She's very behind on the podcast, so she'll listen to this eventually. But she was like, this is a fantasy novel with a little bit of romance in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the romance is like the book would be the same book if like
You
the
just remove that
found,
chapter.
yeah, the found family is like such a more important relationship than the romance piece. That like if Rory had just been like a buddy,
Right.
the same way that Maud is, it really would have been the same story. But I do think I'm not mad that it's there.
No,
It's just not, it's not the focus. But yeah, good soup, not filthy soup. I feel like I've been reading a lot of filthy soup lately. This is, you know, sweet.
Gentle soup.
Yeah.
It was so sweet and gentle that I forgot where it even happened in the book.
Same. All right. The next morning, Rory is gone when she wakes up. She freaks out for a minute, but then she finds him with food and they continue their love affair.
Aw, he brought her food. That's sweet.
He stayed the night and then made her breakfast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
All right. Chapter 21, Cibil. Isn't that chapter 21? Chapter 25? What?
Did I send them wrong? I might have sent them in a wrong order. Hold on. Let's
All right.
see.
No, we are missing chapters 26 through 29.
I love that.
21 to 25. Please hold. We're going to edit this part out.
I'm not editing it. Just keep talking.
Oh my God. Okay. So,
what do we need? 20 what?
Time. We're missing, we stop at 25 and we start again at 30. So we're missing like a lot.
Oh, wait. Yeah. Why didn't it do it? Let's just talk. Just talk about something.
Okay.
I'm not editing.
Okay, we know where they go next.
Yeah, but I don't actually know where they go next.
What did we just read?
All right. Well, Kim, what else are you reading? Let's do that now.
Okay. I am likely going to finish the first Mistborn today. And then I'm deciding whether I continue on to the second Mistborn book or if I go and read one of the 4 books that we got from the Rip Bodice last week.
What do we need? 26?
26 through 29. Love that. God
damn it.
I'm reading Moth Eater by Linda Kodega. It's like a queer Appalachian fantasy, not romance. I guess there's like a little romance in it, but I don't really know where that's going to be. I'm not like super invested in it. But I think that's just because, like, if I'm being totally honest, I finished the Ripped Bodice bingo last week and I'm like a little burnt out on reading, which normally I would be like a little ashamed of that, but I'll get the exact count, but like I've read like 30 books this summer. So I'm not, it probably more than that. So I'm not feeling any type of way about that. I will say the last book that I read for the Ripped Bodice summer reading bingo was When Grumpy Met Sunshine, which was for my Has a Sports Ball on the cover square. It's about, he's a grumpy retired footballer and she's a bubbly, curvy ghostwriter who's hired to help him write his memoir. And they end up fake dating. So it contains my 2 favorite tropes, Grumpy Met Sunshine and fake dating. Yeah, there's a lot of reviews for this book that are like, there's too much banter. What? There's a lot of reviews for this book that's like, they curse too much. He's literally Roy Kent from Ted Lasso. There's a lot of reviews from this book that are, there's too much dirty talk.
No.
Why don't they just say what they're feeling? Like, girl, have you ever read a romance novel? This was, honestly, of all of the light, fluffy little romance novels that I've read in 48 hours this summer, this is the only 5-star read for me. I loved it.
Nice.
My only complaint is that I would have liked more soccer. There's like not actually a lot of soccer in the book. That book is not about soccer. So if you are like me and happen to have bound your life to a grumpy soccer fan, just be prepared to love this book, but also be prepared to like not, there's not a whole lot of soccer happening in it.
Also, not your only 5-star read from the summer.
No, my only 5-star like contemporary romance, I think.
I would call Heartstopper a contemporary romance.
Okay, fair. Sorry, Heartstopper, but Heartstopper's not like fluffy to me. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, okay.
All right.
sent the
I don't
thing.
know.
It is lovely. I mean, it gets more.
Heartstopper's in like its own category, I think. Long
We have
list.
notes.
All right, chapter 26. Rick is still reading.
I'll get to me at the end. Don't worry.
Assassin's Blade. What's it called?
It's
Tower
called
of
Assassin's
Dawn.
Blade.
Kingdom of Ash is what he's on right now.
What's the series called?
Throne of Glass.
Thank you. I was like, what the what? All right, chapter 26. Cibil is wearing both her shroud and her armor. She still wants to wear her shroud over her face, at least. She rides with a knighthood to the next hamlet, which is the Cliffs of Belladine. They're hunting the Heartsore Weaver, whose object is a loom stone. I had to look up what a loom stone is. It seems to be like a weight that's got a little hole in it. That when you're weaving. So along the way, Maud confesses to Cibil her own feelings. So Maud's alive. She's not like in fighting form, but she's alive. She confesses her own feelings of inadequacy and helplessness as a knight. And Cibil realizes her feelings of loneliness were not unique. It's such a sweet moment. Found family is my other favorite trope, I think. Rick's making hearts, but it's not doing the bubbly thing.
Yeah. Oh, it's not on. That's why. There it is. Yay.
We loved this. We love Maud.
We do love Maud.
Cibil also meets Benji's other knights, and she learns that they consider Rory a bad knight. I feel like this isn't a learning. We've been talking about him being a bad knight the whole time. He's he keeps saying he's like a bad knight, but he's loyal to her. He'd be a good knight to her.
And again, why? Like, there's gotta be a reason, man. Like, there's gotta be a reason.
I don't think there is.
I don't know. Is it like a family thing? Like,
were they like foundlings together and he's loved her since he was a baby?
Something. I don't know. Like, it's just.
They were married. They were married in kindergarten, actually. And they've been waiting to be together for all these years.
I mean, this is not like new territory here for a Romantasy book. Like, even thinking about the I Bagged a Demon book, that demon like locked eyes with her and was like, I love you. And so this is just kind of the same thing. You just gotta roll with it. You just gotta like accept this as reality and move forward.
If it ends up being that, I'm fine with it either way. But right now I'm like, there has to be more. And I'm not even seeing it in a bad way.
All right. Well, that evening, a hooded figure with a stone face breaks into Cibil's room. And when she screams, the figure flees, leaving her bruised and confused.
Oh, no.
That's the omen.
That is the omen.
Stone face, right? She's got stone eyes. He's got a whole stone face. Or she. I don't remember. She. Okay. Chapter 27. Benji, Rory, and Maud come to check on Cibil's injuries, and Benji tells Cibil that her stone eyes are intimidating and a desirable trait that he wants to use to his advantage. Again, we're getting some Benji foreshadowing here. Yeah. She tells him she's not interested in being his diviner. And he assures her that she'll have a choice in the matter, but he feels like her being a diviner like commands respect. And so like as a knight diviner, like he wants her to like be that character, like play that role in public to like lend some street cred to him, basically. At the ceremony for the Heartsore Weaver, Cibil is entranced by the ritual where threads from Benji's ceremonial tunic are unspooled. So this is his humbling in front of these people. She realizes she's fallen in love with Rory and decides to let go of her past as a diviner by removing her shroud and kissing him, showing everybody her stone eyes for the first time.
Dum, dum, dum.
I did actually like this ritual because they talk about how like the ceremonial tunic had taken so long to make, and it was like so incredible and beautiful, and then the entire ceremony is that they like take it apart, which I thought that was pretty powerful, actually.
Yeah. And again, this humbling of the king in front of his subjects, and also this like symbolic unraveling of their worldview.
Yeah.
All right, chapter 28. Cibil and Rory use Aisling spring water again to lure the Heartsore Weaver from her cave, which Cibil recognizes from her dreams. They're led into a cavern of luminous sprites, and there's tapestries everywhere. But Cibil and Rory are separated from Benji and Maud by a sudden rush of water. They fall into a pit of gold coins where Rory injures himself but does retrieve his special coin. And they're rescued by the gargoyle. We have not been talking about our boy here.
No.
Yeah, we haven't.
He's been being the best boy.
Yeah. The best. Like, just the sweetest, the funniest.
Flapping his little bat wings.
Yeah. Not enough good things to say about this gargoyle.
Gargoyle.
Yeah. 5
Five
points if you know where that's from.
Like, he's our comic relief. He is our like loyal sidekick here. He is the puppy dog of this book.
Really, like, this is, I really do think, and like maybe we'll do a bonus episode on this sometimes if folks are interested in it. Like, I really do think that like Disney movies were all of our romantasy gateway drug, particularly like the Disney Renaissance films of the 90s that we all grew up with, like Beauty and the Beast and The Little Mermaid and Aladdin. And this feels like this is a true Disney sidekick. Like, he is the comic relief. He is a drawn caricature in a way that the humans of the story are not, but he is also incredibly loyal and incredibly useful. These are all of the things that we look for. I taught a co-curricular on this last year. These are all the things that we look for in a good sidekick. And that's what makes, it's like a big part of what makes those Disney Renaissance films so memorable is, you know, Chip and Cogsworth and Lumiere and Flounder and the carpet in Aladdin and Raja in Aladdin even, who's like not even magical.
And that seagull.
What's his name?
Squawk.
His name is Scuttle.
I was so close.
You were not.
And also too, and we find this out in the next couple of chapters, so we'll talk about it, but it has like remarkable depth to him as a character.
Yes. Yeah. And like the same way that, again, like I would argue this really, Beauty and the Beast is my favorite romantasy novel. But like this, like that's with the cursed objects, right? And like they all have this story of like life is so unnerving for a servant who's not serving. Like they're very you know, like Chip and all of his brothers and the Babette, who's the feather duster, and Lumiere are in love, and you know, the dog is the footstool. We're going to do a bonus episode on Beauty and the Beast.
All right.
All right. So, all right. They fall into a pit of gold coins. So the gargoyle rescues them. Cibil then encounters the Heartsore Weaver, who is a fearsome stone sprite, but reveals that Cibil is a harbinger of death and that she has kept the dead diviners in her cave. So she's really like not trying to do all of the horrible omen things that the rest of the omens are doing, but she's like, yeah, you can kill me. Like, that's actually fine.
Right.
Yeah, she's like, actually, please kill me.
Yeah, please kill me.
I'm done. I don't want to do this. Yeah.
Go ahead and kill me. Can't get much stronger. This episode is brought to you by Haley Williams' Ego. That's not what it's called, but it might be what it's called. Chapter 29, Cibil faces the Heartsore Weaver, who reveals herself to be a grief-stricken sprite. So again, we're like, what's up with the sprites? Who has lost her humanity. She tells Cibil that Aisling's gargoyles are not sprites, which again, what's a sprite? But they are humans turned into stone by the spring water. So what happens with the diviners is the diviners are dropped off to the omens so that they can be fed on, so that the omens can continue to be immortal. But the abbess keeps her favorite diviners from every round and turns them into gargoyles so that they can continue
to serve her. Yeah.
And so that's who the gargoyles was. And then she tells the story of the first gargoyle, who was also the first diviner, and his name
is Bartholomew.
And so this is right. So this is a little Hodor moment where Cibil kills the Heartsore Weaver. She releases her captive moths. There's moths all in the
cave.
It was cave and cavern combined, which is cav. And the Weaver, with her last breath, confirms that the first diviner and the first gargoyle is indeed Bartholomew, and that is the gargoyle who has been joining them the whole time.
What a reveal.
This is also where we learn that that the abbess trains the the diviner that she eventually wants to turn into a gargoyle to being a stoneworker.
Yes.
So, so she asked Cibil, like, what do you think you were gifted the hammer and the chisel? And why do you think that was like your area of expertise? And so Cibil is like, oh shit, like I was in line to be the next one.
Yeah. Like, and that's why she was last to be kidnapped. She wasn't ever going to be kidnapped. She was going to serve the abbess for her full life, which I think is, again, like, we're seeing so much of Cibil like choosing herself. And even though she's chosen to be a knight, she's not really interested in serving anybody else. She's not even really interested in serving Rory, and Rory's interested in serving her. And I don't mean that in a soupy way. I mean it in like in a romance way.
Maybe in the next book, we'll see.
Maybe. All right. So we get like the Bartholomew story here, right?
Yeah, we do. This is, I literally was like before we got his story, like 5 pages before we got his story, I like went back and read the beginning, the prologue, and like was like, oh my God.
You told me to read it when I was at like 60% of the book. So I did, and was like, why am I doing this? And this is like 87% of the
I don't remember where. But his story is so good. Like I wasn't considering, I thought, and actually that's not true. I did say that the only thing I said was like his name is probably Bartholomew. I did say that.
Well, you had both been calling him Bartholomew.
Yeah.
I was calling him Bartholomew as a joke, as in like that's just going to be his name. But I also was like, I bet it's his name, and I actually said exactly what you said. I was like, I bet it's like a Hodor situation.
It's a Hodor situation. Yeah, I said the same thing.
So,
but I wasn't.
And I had said, and I think I said this on the last pod too. But when they were confronting the scribe, and the question was like, "What is the name of the first diviner?" It was at that point that I was like, "It's Bartholomew."
Yeah,
clearly.
I was going to say the same thing.
I didn't know the connection between the gargoyle, but I was like, obviously he is referring to the first diviner.
Right. And so at this point I was like, okay, well, not at this point. Throughout the book, I was like, all right, Bartholomew is obviously the first diviner. The diviners obviously turn into gargoyles. I hadn't really, like, I was like thinking more of a Hodor situation that like the gargoyle was remembering the first diviner. I don't necessarily think that I thought that he was the first diviner.
Same.
But like it occurred to me as a possibility. I just wasn't like, I hadn't locked in on it.
And he was a kid, which is why he acts kid-like. He was like 14 or something.
Right. Yeah.
When he got turned. And his backstory is 10 out of 10 to me. Loved it.
This is really Bartholomew. Yeah. Sorry that I wouldn't let you guys call him Bartholomew in the first episode of the podcast.
That's fine.
I was like, what if people actually only read the first half of the book? All right. So chapter 30, we are nearing the end. We have killed all of the omens except for the abbess, who we know is the last of them. And so Cibil and her friends her found family returned to Aisling Cathedral to confront the abbess, who is revealed to be the 6th omen, a stillborn who was reborn as a human-like statue by the spring. She confesses to Cibil's that all of the diviners were killed after their 10-year service to feed the omens, and that Cibil's dream of the moth was a sign of her coming to life. I also want to talk about, just real quickly, the abbess is the one like projecting when they're drowning. The abbess is the one projecting those images into their minds. It's not actually, they're not foretelling, dreaming anything. It's just like they're seeing what the abbess wants them to see. And so I'm assuming the abbess projected all of those terrible omens about Benji's divination because of who his grandfather was. But that's also why when she had Bartholomew holding her down and drowning her, he projected his experience as the first diviner and then seeing all of the other diviners killed or turned into stone. And so that's why she had such a weird experience when the abbess wasn't the one drowning her.
And we also learn, I don't know if it says it, but and I'm pretty sure I'm correct in this, that Cibil died. Like she was dead.
She was dead.
And then the abbess, I don't know if it happened to all the girls, but
initial drowning seems to kill them.
Yep.
Yeah. And then Well, I thought she was dead beforehand. Oh no, or is that just Bartholomew? That they died and they bring the dead bodies to the spring.
Oh, you're right. I think you're right.
Yeah, so the girls, the diviners are dead. They are dead girls that they get from like the orphanage. And they bring them to the spring, and the spring brings them back to life. And then they need to keep drinking that water in order to like stay
In
human.
order to live. Yeah. And then I think that's also, I mean, I know they're already orphans, so like no one, like theoretically, no one would miss them if they were when they disappear after 10 years, but also like if they're already assuming they're dead, then like even their fellow foundlings aren't going to miss them if they don't come back. Yeah.
All right, and
there's also a note in here too that the abbess makes a comment about why she chose girls over boys as well, and how she had found over time that they were better at it, but also more able to be manipulated, and so she had continued to use girls instead of a Bartholomew who was male identifying.
Yeah, because he gets like kind of uppity towards the end of his tenure. All right, so Cibil's dream of the moth was a sign of her coming to life. Cibil, in a final act of vengeance, uses the abbess's own hammer and chisel, so her magical object, to destroy the cathedral, ending the omen's reign over Traum. So that is where the ruins kick in. And Kim and Rick had been telling me that I could use this for my historical ruins square. I Googled something I don't remember. Oh, I did see like the spoiler was like, and the cathedral is going to be destroyed in the end. And I was like, all right, well, whatever. Kind of knew that. But I decided to use this for my historical ruins square. I don't think these are historical ruins like Indiana Jones. I do want to read that book, Temple of Swoon, where like they're like exploring historical ruins. I counted this as historical ruins because they've destroyed the history of.
I'll take it.
Chapter 31, Cibil and her friends stand victorious in the ruins of Aisling Cathedral with all the omens, stones, objects claimed. Benji has completed his mission and he turns on them. He wounds Rory, and in the cruelest act that anyone has ever done in any book that we've ever read, he shatters Bartholomew's wing.
What a fucking dick.
I wanted to jump into the book and fight him.
Right? And any sense of goodwill for Benji is donezo.
Here's
Benji,
a big bad now.
Here's a list of my book children. My book children are Nick and Charlie from Heartstopper and Bartholomew from The Night and the Moth. My book husband is obviously the Roy Kent character from When Grumpy Met Sunshine. And I would do anything for them. Don't fuck with them.
Benji fucking Barlow the Third.
Benji fucking Barlow the Third.
I literally have a fur baby who's now named Bartholomew because I have made him my literal child.
And he's the perfect little Bartholomew. He's such a little sweet gargoyle boy. All right. Benji reveals his plan. So the gods are dead. He wants to be the new god of Traum. He wants to install Cibil as his queen. Cibil, and not having that. She's not trying to serve anybody else. So she has a heavy heart and she tells Rory to leave with Maud and the gargoyle. Maud is like devastated.
Yeah.
She's like, I have been your big sister and your biggest supporter. Rory like doesn't trust anybody. So he's kind of like, this sucks. And also he's hurt. But Maud is like, what the fuck? So Cibil tells Rory to leave with Maud and the gargoyle, allowing Benji to take her to Castle Luricht, which is in the fair, Scarborough Fair. Mm-hmm. She says goodbye to her friends, knowing she's made a choice to be a new kind of martyr for them. And the book ends with her being led away by Benji.
Yeah, and Maud like dragging Rory away, screaming, like he's like
kicking and screaming, because he serves her. He never wanted to serve Benji, and like Maud, found family, but like, and he's is fond of Bartholomew as well, but like Cibil is his girl.
I was not ready for that
when
turn.
They were married at the orphanage in kindergarten.
I was not ready for that turn. Like I obviously had
the heel turn.
Oh my god, the heel turn. I really wasn't. Like I felt betrayed. Like I went back and I turned the page back and reread it. I was like, he didn't just stab Rory. That's not what just happened.
Yeah, and it's too late in the book, and Rory can't die.
Right.
But again, Rick, and maybe you had just like said this in jest, but you had called this back at like the beginning of the book.
What I said
I got
was
to the end, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
no. What I said was when I had started having questions about Benji, right? I remember exactly what I said. I was like, all I want is Benji to be bad. That's all I want. What I want is for like the character that we think is good to actually be bad at the end. I want an Anakin Skywalker situation. And I didn't mean to will it into existence because I was not happy. But I did like that because now we have a character that I actually hate. Like his origin story, like his villain origin story. Like I hate him. Like I really wanted that to happen, and I'm so mad that it did.
Yeah.
So.
Well, get out of Rachel Gillig's head.
All right, so I looked it up. It is going to be a duology.
Okay. So second book, what are we thinking? What's going to happen?
Oh, Rory's going to kill Benji.
For sure. Yeah, like until I I anticipated the Benji heel turn, but I did not anticipate him breaking Bartholomew's wing.
Yeah.
And I think that is an unforgivable act that he can't have a redemption arc from.
No.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because you can't mend, like we've been breaking stone, we haven't been mending stone. And
Correct.
So I think he's just got a lucky fin for the rest of his life.
Right? I'm like, he's been all excited about his flying and such this entire book.
He just learned to fly.
I think someone will die. I'm always expecting somebody to die. I think maybe
I'm afraid Moth's gonna go out too. I feel like Moth's gonna sacrifice.
She's the only one, because like Rory can't die. It's
Why?
a romance novel. We need a happily ever after.
Okay, fine.
And Bartholomew can't die because she'd abandon her readers.
Yeah.
And Cibil can't die. So it's got to be Maud.
I think that Bartholomew is going to like rally the gargoyles.
I like that little gargoyle army.
Yeah, he's gonna go to them and be like, "We're better than this." And the sprites.
And the sprites.
We're gonna get a sprite army because the sprites
I
are going to be
know
good.
what's up with the sprites. It does feel very like when Hermione like picks up the cause of like the house elves and like for justice, like back before that author decided that justice was actually something she's extremely disinterested in. But it does kind of feel like that, where it's like we're going to get like a deeper meaning around like, you know, who are the nobles and who are the people that are worth sacrificing for.
I bet like Benji kept them like starving them because they were too good, or he wouldn't be able to get power. Like they balanced things, and he wanted an imbalance of power type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's had enough time to do that, but I don't think he intended. I mean, and maybe we're gonna flash forward a few years. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
and he's gonna have been a terrible terror king.
I think Maud actually might kill Benji.
I mean, she did throw the first stone at his grandfather.
Right.
Yeah. So.
And she's like literally known him since he was a little baby.
A little baby.
All right. So what do we think? Let's rate the book in general. Stars wise.
I give it 4.5 stars, 5 stars for fantasy, 4 stars for romance. I thought that I really loved all the world building. I love a finite quest. We're going to check every single one of these boxes. That's why I like cleaning a bathroom. I want benchmarks. And I don't actually know if we've talked about this, maybe in the Blood and Ash episodes a long time ago, but like, I like meeting gods. I think that's really cool, even if they're not actually gods. I like, you know, when you're like 7 years old, you get sorted into a phase, and I was absolutely a Greek mythology girly. And so like, I appreciate that so much. But the whole like speed with which Rory fell for Cibil, just like really didn't do it for me. I was like, I don't understand why he's so, and even if they were married in kindergarten, that's not going to change for me. I was just sort of like, I don't know. It's just not a great romance for me, but a really great fantasy novel. 4.5.
I'm also at 4.5 too. Pretty much almost for the exact same reasons. So interestingly enough, because I remembered it as being the soup when they go to the hot spring, and it wasn't actually soup, but it was them like, you know, chilling naked and talking to each other and making googly eyes. And for me, when that scene hit in the book, kind of took me out of the rest of the flow of what was going on. So I actually didn't like it. And so that's actually what knocked it down for me, was I think just the trajectory of the romance. And it didn't feel natural.
Nothing knocked it down for me. This book's got 6 stars. It's my favorite book that I've probably read all year. I was not able to stop reading it. I just burned through this book. I don't know. I say this when I talk about wrestling, but like, if I'm gonna accept that this coin can like teleport people and blow shit up, sure, he loves her, whatever. Like, like if that's, you know, I have to suspend some disbelief. So like
but there's rationale for that, and I think that's why you're seeking rationale for the romance speed here.
Yeah, and whatever. So people fall, whatever. I've fallen for people quickly before. It's fine. Like whatever. This is the mid ages, you know. Maybe they marry young. So I didn't deduct anything for that. I loved just like the boss battles, like the world building, everything was great. And actually I loved it so much that I'm concerned about book 2. Like I loved the things, like you said, that we did. Like, so now where do we go?
Yeah.
But you know, in Throne of Glass, in the first Throne of Glass book, it was a tournament, and it was a very good tournament. And then I was like, now where do we go? And it did go somewhere good. So I'm like, being like, okay, we can go somewhere. All right, what are we giving for soup? How many cans of soup? I mean, it had soup, so it can't be 0.
Like 1. I don't know. The soup was fine. It's super forgettable. I don't remember anything about it. But like, it's not the point. So like, yeah. I guess like, I don't know. It's like
I'm fine with 1.
It's like a 1 or a 2 for me, where it's like, I'm not mad at it. It shouldn't count against the book. But like, don't be prepared for soup.
Right. Like, I'm not counting it against it. I'm just like, how much soup was there and was it good? And it's like a 1. There wasn't any, and it was fine.
Yeah.
I'm fine with a 1.
I would give it a half, but I'll give it a 1 if that's what y'all want to agree on.
All right. So are we calling it a 4.5 star, 1 soup book?
Actually, I think my 6 raises it up to a 5 stars. So no, 4.5 is fine. 4.5 and stars and 1 can of soup.
Yeah, which like 1 can of soup, parentheses, complimentary. Like, yeah. It's not 1 can of soup derogatory. Like, it's just like almost, I guess it's like a little dark to be a YA novel, but like almost when you're reading like YA romantasy, and like it almost kind of felt like that, where I was like, the soup wasn't really necessary.
Yeah. Right. And as for what I am reading, I'm finishing up. What am I reading? Kingdom of Ash.
That's the big one?
That's the big one. It's 1,000 pages. I have a little less than 7 hours left in the book, guys. We're going to finish it by Thursday. And I'm reading it slower and slower because it's really good and I don't want to end.
What are you going to do next?
I am going to become a Sarah J. Maas. I'm going to read Crescent City. I'm getting my Sarah J. Maas badge.
He is first going to go into a deep, deep book hole.
Probably. After Thursday, I just need to take a break because I won't know what to do with my life after this series is over. Like, it's crazy. Like, I've never read this many books in one series ever.
You've never read this many books, period.
No. Well, yes. But so like Harry Potter, right? Like, I read those over the span of the years. And I've now read that in a month and a half. So I'm like really invested in this world. So now to be taken out of it, it's going to be like rough.
Yeah, that's fair.
What are we reading next? Oh, Enchantra, right?
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about this off the pod, but we need to talk about, like, are we potting about Mistborn? Are we just reading it for funsies? Is there a timeline on that? Are we reading Enchantra? Like, wait, I think we need to make some decisions. So we're not actually going to announce on this episode what we're reading next. If you want to know what we're reading next, you're going to have to follow us on TikTok or Instagram, because that's where we'll announce it.
Great. I love that.
And also, kids at home, if you have any thoughts or suggestions, please comment, email, follow us on the socials.
Yeah, text us if you're our friend.
Send us a written letter.
A carrier pigeon?
Smoke signals.
I was about to say that.
You can be like
Morse
the
code.
little like rats that like go into the like sniff out bombs and such.
Hell yeah.
Bomb
It's
rats.
New York City. Send us a rat.
All
Don't
right. Well, I
send
have
it
to go.
my house though.
I have to go to the mall. My child finished the book, so she has to go to Sephora.
Hell yeah.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.